only comfortable with, or will they draft something that they're comfortable with and also something that makes sense? And they switch things up a little bit.
If it doesn't make sense, you won't make dollars.
Doesn't make sense, you won't make dollars. Wow. Keep that unprofessional garbage for the fluff panel as we begin this draft with a Doom and a Phoenix, the same opening. Now a Rubik is missing. Why Grim over Rubik? Lizard.
Why Grim over Rubik? It's a good question. They banned it out the last game. They banned it out to deny Cyber Legacy that double Doom opportunity. But Grim overall isn't only about the double Doom. It's a strong hero. It gives you some outpush on the lanes. The Inkspell with the Void Spirit is pretty good. Versus Phoenix in the lane, it can be alright. If Phoenix is there, you have that Phantom's Embrace to mess with him a little bit when it comes to that dive escape. But overall, I just think they lost confidence. I think Rubik was always their opening, and I really think for them it's a better pick. Maybe they'll go for something else for Lil this time around, something that can make plays a little bit easier. Your Clockwork, Tiny has been banned out. Maybe something tanky, some tanky 4.
Yeah.
For seeing.
Excellent. 8. Kyle. The next pick.
Think that if I'm Omegalil here, I just want to keep things a little easier to execute. I thought that their last draft was great, but I just disagreed with the Timbersaw. As we stated, I felt like they either had to all in, win game quick, or get themselves an answer to AM. They kind of just got more mid-game, and ultimately they lost later on. I think that they played really well. I think Sunlight on Void Spirit is quite possibly one of the best in the game at the hero. I just want to see them have an ability to win game. Also, if you're going to pick Snapfire, you guys get a little Shredder, dog. You can't get it at level 7. Phoenix got a free egg off that actually turned the early game around for CL.
It's like I've been on both of these sides, like playing Phoenix versus Snapfire and Snapfire versus Phoenix. First month when Snapfire started being picked versus Phoenix, it was really good with that little shredder. Everything afterwards felt really bad because you use that egg far enough from the Snapfire and it doesn't really matter anymore. Or you wait for the Snapfire to start channeling Mortimer's Kiss and then you use the egg. What? Is he gonna stop his ulti to come up to you and maybe kill your egg? Probably not, because he's far enough anyway. So they go with the Lich on the side of Omegalil. We have pretty much when Grimstroke came out, these 3 heroes were picked constantly together. Grimstroke, Lich, Doom. That was the wombo combo. And it's still pretty solid. And one thing that I really like is when something falls out of the meta, out of favor for many picks, people start forgetting about it and start forgetting how actually strong it is. Maybe it got nerfed a little bit, but that doesn't mean it still isn't strong. Soulbind, Lich ulti,
Point for Lizard to love.
Cyber Legacy just straight up picking the exact same draft. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they just grabbed another Anti-Mage 4th pick if Omegalil don't pick something that isn't Furion. I like the clock a lot. It worked out for me. All right, cool. Definitely not going to AM into that, although it's a possibility. It's a very early carry reveal. That is the win condition. We did ask for them to get something easier to execute with. TB certainly is that.
Deuces from Kyle, back to Lizard.
All right, so you're thinking about all these heroes that are good versus TV right now. They already have something. Phoenix, in my opinion, is pretty solid. You can always get on top of him with the magic damage. You deny him the Sunder with your egg. You need more, though. Is it your Zeus? Is it your Ember? Which one of these heroes are you going to go for? Ember versus Void Spirit, that can work for you as well if you want to give that to Magical. The problem with Magical is his hero pool isn't really that great, but he can make it work. Like any mid player should be able to play these heroes that are good versus TB.
32 love to Kyle.
Cyber Legacy just need to have a way to deal with the Terrorblade. I think BKB here.
Oh, you've dropped the ball. Reserve on Kyle.
The Bat Rider here is quite nice. Laning phase.
And I can't.
Laning phase is definitely going to be advantageous no matter where he ends up if Omegalil don't pick a true counter to him in the lane. It's great against the Terrorblade, and it's really nice synergy with the Phoenix. You just force someone to fight into the egg, and then boom! Egg explodes, splatters everybody with yolk, and Cyber Legacy win the team fight.
I love Cyber Legacy. They're red beats blue. Cyber Legacy looks very strong.
Well, blue definitely beats red. Blue represents water, whereas red is fire.
Never.
Reserve on both. We have the ball is out of the
The
stadium.
color schematic actually does work here, right? Like we have one almost full blue team,
That
bluish,
is
the other one is full
very
red.
impressive. I
Yeah,
must
like
say.
you don't see it very often like that.
Would you say
it's
that
cool.
the one that keeps the color palette is the stronger team?
Yes, and if you look, Terrorblade, he's actually captured the essence of the enemy draft within his bejeweled soul belt. Thus, he's more than ready to take on the Cyber Legacy squad.
All right, all right.
All right. Game over. Set match. No one has won. Go Lizard. Last thoughts.
All right, so this should still be your position 4 clock with offlane bat, your Doom mid, position 5 Phoenix. You're looking for your position 1 carry that can deal with the TP. And you go with Drow. Bam. It was Drow and it was Arc Warden. Those two heroes that actually do well against him.
I would have liked Arc Warden, I think, a little bit more. However, cool thing, Lich Shields only reduces damage from physical attacks, not physical damage. Thus, the Drow Arrow Storm is not blocked whatsoever by Lich Shield.
The multi-shot.
Correct.
Arrow Storm.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yo, can you tell me how towers work with Pugna? How come tower take magical damage with Pugna?
It's... Wait, don't you play techies?
Yeah.
What damage are the red mines right now?
Physical.
Are they physical? Are you sure?
No, it's all magical.
It's all magical on techies, right?
But how come
There you
magical
go.
burst damage you can't Laguna Blade tower?
Objection. Is this relevant?
No. Well, it is when they pick Pugna right here. But
I wouldn't recommend it. But
last
it's
pick,
always
who
possible.
would you recommend?
A cleanse. LC, Omni Knight, Abaddon. You've got catch. You need something to keep your Terrorblade alive. You need an answer to the Bat Rider. And that is a cleanse.
You have to be careful though. You're going to be playing offlane versus
Storm Spirit.
Yes,
Whoa.
full blue, baby. Drow.
full blue indeed.
That traitor tries to run.
Oh my god.
That's a Void
The
Spirit
Storm
offlane.
also has the essence of red captured.
My
so this
God.
is an insane pick here. This is
Yeah,
very.
this is
We were thinking 4-head. This is definitely 5-head's
five
good,
head,
right?
5 head.
Okay.
It's very, very good.
It's answers for the Phoenix the Bat. Like, it's a good lane against the Bat. Oh, and they expect Bat to be mid.
Yeah.
We saw this yesterday.
But that can be off as well. You could put, but it doesn't matter. You play versus Doom or Bat, you should do fine with
Yeah.
Storm.
So you put the Storm against the Bat. Should be a good lane. They really don't like have anything to kill the Storm either. Yes, you could Doom him. Technically, Drow could silence, but they're relatively easy spells for
this?
the Storm to play around.
You
What?
see these odds?
Oh, yes.
Kyle, what are your thoughts? Blue apparently is beaten by fire.
I think I would go blue here. I feel like Omegalil have better tower pressure, and I think that the Drow Ranger is going to have difficulties in this game with both spirits just hopping on top of her.
Yeah, I think they sold
damage output's real low.
they sold their draft in a weird way. Like they moved away from this Void Spirit being mid, but I think the Storm Spirit does definitely fit them. When you look at these two drafts, Cyber Legacy do have a more standard one. Let's say a little bit perhaps easier to execute. You have these solid team fights that you're fighting against. Meanwhile, Omegalil, they have to be in and out constantly with these two spirits while TB farms up. I'd still value Cyber Legacy a little bit more because of ease of execution. You do have Doom, do have Lasso, but it looks better for Omegalil. I actually like this last pick more than the Timbersaw. Yeah.
So in Terrorblade, you know what? Forget it. I don't want to ask you people any more questions. Questions are weak and irrelevant when you could simply have answers, like what our two casters will provide for us. Please give us all the answers that we need in this game.
Indeed, in order to show strength and authority, no questions will be asked in this broadcast. We will only be giving answers. Brian, answer this draft for me. Because I cannot ask you a question on it.
Fair enough. I'm not trying to be like doomsday guy here, but Omegalil's draft, it seems like it's like January 2020 right now. And I see their draft, and by the end of this game, it's going to be September of 2020. Do you get what I'm going at here?
Signs of potential bad things to come, but it's going to get really, really bad. Is that what you're going to say?
This has been a great year. I don't know what you're talking about. Omegalil all the way. Woo!
Okay. 2020 has been great for Brian, apparently. Screw everybody else. Brian's getting his. Kyle loved Omegalil's draft. He said he would bet his mortgage on Omegalil.
Wait, I
you
always
prepared?
tune Kyle out. Did he actually like their draft?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he
This
did.
is why Kyle legit hasn't played a game of Dota in the last 2 years.
Sober.
This is literally like
Hasn't
the worst
played a game of
Terror
Dota
play
in
game
the
in
last 2
history.
years sober.
Yeah, sober.
30
True.
seconds to battle.
I would be shocked if this Terrorblade carries the game. I think this is a very hard Storm game.
Okay.
I think he has to get a lot done early. But if he does get a lot done early, I think that's the win condition for Omegalil. I thought they needed a space maker, not a space taker. So Storm has to be a bit of both.
This is the perfect position for me. I love being in this position.
What position
I am
is
the
that
play-by-play caster between two analysts
The battle
who are
begins.
currently at odds against each other, and
Okay.
one of you will look like a fool.
With our track record, who are you going to side with initially?
Oh, absolutely, you, Brian.
Okay, thank you. Just making sure you're not delusional. No
Though,
offense,
to
Kyle.
be fair, has your track record been that good, Brian?
Let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about the game, and I'm sure that's what people care about.
I feel like comparing your two track records might be like comparing two negative numbers.
I'm not going to touch this one, Cap, to be honest with you.
Very well, Brian. I was pleasantly. Was it pleasantly? I don't remember.
Is that
I
the
thought
right
Drow
word?
Ranger was going to dumpster Void Spirit lane the other day,
Yeah, I know what you're
just
talking
yesterday,
about, yeah.
and that did not happen. Is Void Spirit just the answer to Drow Ranger? Off lane Void Spirit, is that the answer we need against this Drow Ranger safe lane menace that is terrorizing our pubs, Brian?
We're running it back, because I still don't buy into this Drow Ranger being countered by Void Spirit in lane. Both Drows were picked into Void Spirit, and I wholeheartedly believe it's Drow favored. So this will be the decider for me. I think there's
Okay.
always mechanical, potential individual mistakes that can that can mislead you on a matchup.
Yeah.
I always remember this one Beyond the Summit tournament where CCNC played against Meepo as TA. The first one he got stomped, and then the second game he stomped.
Yeah.
And he basically said he learned that matchup over the course of that one game.
Yeah.
Like he had one or two crucial slip-ups in the first minute, lost the matchup, suddenly he came back and won it. So I'm going to chop up that other bad matchup for Drow to be individual error.
Wasn't that also where he did the interview? He talked about the importance of glyphing.
Yes, that is
and
exactly
how
what
like
happened,
he
yes.
picked up, like he was able to pick up his level 2 before the Meepo.
That's exactly what happened, yes.
Yeah. It's always fascinating to hear pro players talk about like the very, very little things that matter so much. Oh, I haven't
Dota's
heard that line in a while.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait, what? Dota is a game all about the little things, Cap. I'm sure you're all too familiar with little things.
I try to handle little things as often as possible.
I'm sure that's not hard for you to find, Cap.
Let's start the laning phase, shall we? Bingnum's going to be doing some pulling as the clockwork. Damn it. I was really trying hard not to break.
He did it, guys. Remember this moment as the moment Cap broke.
Oh, man, I got Lacoste good there earlier with the 5 men versus Liquid. That was a fun one.
Yeah,
All right.
that's not low-hanging fruit.
Doom versus Storm Spirit. Melee hero against Storm Spirit, not necessarily greatest, but Doom, because he has so much natural regen, I presume he's able to just kind of fine.
Yeah, Doom kind of goes even at worst. Last game we did see him have a bit of a rough laning stage versus the Void Spirit, and even when he died once or twice, it kind of just... He still dooms people,
Sure.
you know? I'd like to see him buy a Bracer and a Wand in this lane before Boots. I'll see if he goes for that. Last lane, he got... You just get... All the spirits just nuke you down, right?
Yeah.
They all wear you down, so I think the Bracer Wand is really important super early, as we see Malik getting the treatment
Multi-shot!
that I expect a Void Spirit to get.
You were right all along, Brian.
Yeah.
I never lost faith in you, and
Kyle
I never
doesn't know
lost
shit.
faith in this matchup.
Yeah. Did Kyle actually say that about the draft? I can't tell
mean,
if you're painting a picture, like, for a
like I'm
storyline.
beginning to doubt myself, but like, yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, I think the thought process was that Drone Ranger's just going to get gone on And, yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I try only listen to like the last 10 seconds so I know what their conclusion is, so I have an intro.
Yeah, I'm all about the minimally listening to Kyle.
Because for me, seeing is believing, and right now, I don't believe my eyes, Brian. Storm Spirit's winning the matchup. I don't know where I was going with that, but you know.
Storm is definitely supposed to win, so
Yeah,
you're about
yeah.
as Kyle right now.
Pull him back. Magical taking a bunch of damage, just has to pull the creep wave back underneath his tower. Has a little bit of regen to work with. He did get the stick early as you requested, Brian. No boots just yet.
You just can't evade the damage that you're taking. Like with Void Spirit, he's going to hit you with his shield, right?
Yeah.
With Storm, he's just going to Remnant and hit you.
He pulls him on the range creep, but Magical's good.
If you can't evade the damage, boots don't do anything for you.
Sure, sure.
Right, that's the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes perfect sense to me.
Okay, I'm glad it made sense to somebody, because that's about
Push back onto Kellen. They're really trying to stay on top of him with the Bat Rider, but they couldn't quite close that distance. Now with the creep wave there, Kellen, he could actually fight Bignum here. He's got, okay, he's just going to keep walking here. Eventually he turns. He's like, okay, now's the time. I can finish him off now, and he's absolutely right. With 40 HP to spare and a single stick charge, Kellen's good to go, and that is a lost lane for Cyber Legacy. Not looking so hot now. Malik, he's going to be potentially dying here in the bottom lane as the last bit of damage coming out from Slayer. He does it for another round of Fire Spirits, but he didn't need it. He can put it onto Lil instead, and Slayer may actually survive here as he ducks his way through the trees, gets off the healing salve, turns around, says, ha-ha, Lil, I gotcha. Look at the healing salve. It already healed me up. Dumbass, gotcha. 2 for nothing. Kuman and the Phoenix making life real hard for this Void Spirit +1.
Yeah, I've told this story to the casters backstage, and I know people have heard about 17 too many stories about my pubs, but there was a period of time where I decided to try to learn Void Spirit.
Yeah?
Cap. And I was just first picking it, because that's usually the best way to learn a hero. And
yeah.
3 of the 4 games I played, I got Drow Rangered, and I stopped playing the hero.
You should pick it up again, Brian. It's so fun.
Yeah, it seems like a really fun hero, but when you lose your lane by like 2 levels and you're just like scrapping for farm, and you get like a 8-minute level 6 in the off lane, you're just like, well, any hero in this situation doesn't seem very fun.
Maybe the off lane just isn't for you, Brian. What are you doing?
I mean, I haven't had issues like that on any other hero except for against Drow. Damn it, Drow. Okay, guys, I know I whine a lot about Drow, but hear me out. Please, Ice.
Oh God, they hear me out.
Please just nerf Drow. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay, civil on this.
Hey, we got on top of the Drow Ranger because the Phoenix is not here.
Oh no,
now
Drow
Phoenix
Ranger's
is
in
here.
trouble. No. Oh my. Wait, what? He had 12 stick charges and he just didn't use them. Okay, Drow's a feeder. I blame this guy. He was actually baiting there. He was actually baiting there.
Yeah,
didn't realize he was gonna die to the nuke.
Yeah. No doubt. He was baiting them to turn around because if he pops that, then they're kind of out of damage, especially with the Fire Spirits on them. And he would just light them up during that time. But trying to min-max a little bit too much. That's what happens when you bait too hard, Brian.
Is that what happened to Dendi?
Ow. Oof.
I'm just kidding, Dendi. I wouldn't say this kind of stuff if I didn't have respect for you. Just like these teams here.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you wouldn't say that kind of thing if he was actually listening.
Do you think he's listening?
I hope.
I'm sorry.
That's the face of Dota right there. You just insulted Brian.
Well, hey, I heard it to be, memorable, you have to say polarizing shit.
Ah, yes, the Kyle strategy.
Yes. Wait, no.
All right,
I don't want that strategy.
Sorry, I got
shit, that's the Kyle strategy?
We're shitting too much on Kyle right now. This is getting too far.
Well, I thought my strategy was pretty good until you said it was his, so I'll make that the last one.
All right. Kyle is a perfectly fine analyst, and we love him very much.
Yes.
Don't take too much of this to heart, Twitch chat.
He's such a good analyst, he managed to make himself be working for the production crew so he can hire himself.
You're not going to stop, are you, Brian?
Nah.
We've got level 6 on the Doom right now, and he's highest net worth in the game.
He didn't level Doom, though. He's going for the 3-0.
Yeah. But true, doesn't have Doom, but he could if he wanted to,
That's
but
the
as
flex.
you said, the important thing was he bounced back from that laning phase, Higher level
he always
Devour.
does. Highest net worth in the game.
Yeah. It feels a little bit, Malik's in some trouble. He may be dying here. Oh, the last hit from the Drow Ranger. The Fire Spirits did actually burn him out. Granted, the Phoenix does die to Lil, but you're always worth trading a support for a core, I think.
I think Kuman got XP for that, for the Void Spirit kill. I'm not sure, though. If he did, it's really good for...
He's really close to level 6. He's trying to finish off Lil here. Oh, he got him with the silence and
Will
didn't
he get
die
the
to that
stick charges
last
off?
hit.
Oh
The
my God,
20
he managed
stick
to do it.
charges, he got it.
And
Plus, he also
meanwhile,
range
Lynch
run.
guy's top.
Scanning.
Yeah, I was mostly trolling about the stick charges only because of the last time he held on to for just a bit too long.
He learned from his mistake, Brian. He didn't wait this time. Dropping the bottle, give it to Slayer.
Support
still
Slayers,
try and go for Kellen.
please fill bottles. Bottles are what us cores need from you. A lot of offlaners are going bottles nowadays. As a
Yeah.
4 position, if I buy a bottle, please don't TP mid.
Okay, I have a question for you, Brian. Your mid goes bottle.
Yeah.
You have an offlane here that's good for going bottle. Is it acceptable to get 2 bottles on a team?
It's acceptable. It's just that if there's heroes that it's borderline, the mid laner having bottle or not definitely affects me. It depends on if my hero's more about the power runes or the bounty runes just for the refill.
Sure.
Like for Darkseer, I think it's more about the bounty runes for the refill than it is the power runes. But Batrider actually uses the power runes pretty damn well. He likes stuff like haste, invis, all that kind of crap.
Sierra's trying to finish up his level 6 when he got by Omegalil. They're making a fast play into mid lane. They did this with the Nature's Prophet lineup, and they're doing it again with another pushing core in the Terrorblade. Cyber Legacy, I think this time around you should definitely formulate a response if they're going to keep going, but instead they pop over to the side and find a free kill on Big Dumb.
Yep, I like this play. This is who you need to play around. Void Spirit fell behind a bit, but he's got level 6, so he'll do just fine bottom. Storm Spirit is your space maker, boys. Get him! As I like this Kalen rotation to mid, because against Batrider, Clock, Phoenix, Doom, please don't stay in your own safe lane past like 5 minutes into the game on Terrorblade, as he is rightfully left. And this is really important. He did this last game as Nature's Prophet, so he's very aware of situations where it is now the dead lane. It has transitioned out of the laning stage. It's no longer the safe lane.
If anybody's going to be there, it's going to be some sort of 5 or 4 position that can either clear creep wave safely or is willing to sacrifice their life for some easy levels.
Yeah, they're just as easy to kill as Terrorblade, but the difference is you do have to gank them, and instead of it being, oh, we got the carry, it's like, I guess I have to gank this 5.
Yeah.
As they look like they want to go again. There was a ward bottom that initially scouted Magical's rotation, but they seem quite keen on countering the early push from Kalen's Terrorblade as Blizzy...
Just turn around on Blizzy before the Phoenix can actually come in and save them from all that damage. Sunray, though, doing a bulk of work.
The deny? No,
he tried to get the deny. That was pretty interesting there.
Turns out
Malik.
Terrorblade having 25 armor is a nerf.
And now they do manage to get the Gus. There goes the Supernova on out. Sunlight's still going to fight around this Inkswell, trying to blow up this Doom, but he managed to kill him and jumps away from the Supernova as well. In fact, he still has enough mana to get away from Siom the Slayer. Even another jump on after that. So pull him back into the tier 2. Maybe you could do something here.
That was a terrible split shot by Drow. Needed to hit the Lich. Like, you could have been much more patient with that, because it's a difference where if you're chasing down Terrorblade and Storm's the one respawning, you're going to have to back off super early, right? But if you're chasing the Storm and the Terrorblade's respawning, he has no meta.
Yeah.
You're not afraid of this guy respawning. So I think that was a bit of early giving up on the side of Cyber Legacy. I really do think they could have chased farther there. Usually Drow doesn't want to chase, but as we see here, Kuman did decide to stay in his lane. He has not learned about the dead lane. Let me preach to you about it, sir, as you will learn this the hard way. Drow, another carry that doesn't usually stay in the safe lane very long, because she is quite squishy.
So surely he knows. Everyone's heard about the dead lane from
Yeah, I need to give him
this
the
point in
brochure,
time.
yeah.
Well, no. I'm sure he's heard the gospel at some point. Is there a reason you can think of why he would stay in that position?
There's nowhere for him to naturally rotate to right now. As we
my
see
goodness,
Terrorblade
Big
being low.
Dumb!
No Sunder time. That was sick. That's just a little bit too greedy from Kellen. Is it Kalen or Kellen? I've said both randomly throughout.
I've been saying Kellen.
Okay, I'll say Kellen too for continuity's sake. As what I was gonna say about the dead lane here is that with Terrorblade, it's like, okay, I have meta. Not only is it dangerous for me to be top, but there's also something I can go do on the map. While with Drow, it wasn't like a natural rotation for her to go anywhere else, but now since they had committed 3 or 4 heroes bottom from Omegalil, it's very easy for Drow to go top. I think...
So there are times where you can defend your safe lane tower, play around that fact, but this was not that time?
Yeah, I don't think Drow's the type of hero that wants to do that.
Sure.
If her team is ganking for her, that's different, right? Earlier that happened, but the minute your team has gone elsewhere,
yeah,
you don't want them to be forced to TP back bottom because you're a Drow. This is where you're supposed to go, right? Instead of rotating to a lane, you realize, okay, I'm not safe bottom, but I'm also not, you know, primed to go take an objective just yet. He's even gone for the Yasha before the Dragonlance, so he's saying he's going to hit some creeps. And no better place for a Drow than the triangle. As Doom goes for the phase drum BKB, pretty standard stuff.
Omegalil currently sitting around this mid tower. They're looking for a pickoff. That could maybe translate into them taking that tier 1. Magical pops his head out, and immediately they look to be able to cut it off, and it looks like with this combination of abilities, they'll do pretty well. They get off the Supernova. Can they actually kill the egg? They cannot. They're fully committed at this point in time. They do manage to get the Soulbind out onto the Bat Rider with the Clockwork. They're still trying to chase down Sunlight at the same time. The Sunray, can it do enough damage? Can Slayer do it? He needs to be able to hit him with the Fire Spirits, but he missed. He missed the one Fire Spirits that could have given him a chance, but now he's dead. And so is everybody else on Cyber Legacy. My goodness.
Slayer just doesn't understand. How are you supposed to kill Sunlight with a Sun Ray?
Uh-huh.
That's literally impossible. You're killing it with itself.
It's healing.
It's made of itself.
It's like Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's not very effective.
At all. As surprisingly, the fight just... Magical getting caught out is not the recipe for a good fight. I think every team comp has a specific hero that you don't mind losing at the start of the fight particularly, but I would say Cyber Legacy lost a bit of awareness there in the fact that they lost their crucial hero. Like, I'd say Doom is the most important hero to be alive.
They popped meta again, and they're going to 4-man smoke, and I think they're just moving into the triangle, see if they can catch the Drow Ranger.
The respawn, this is good. He's aware of this somehow, though.
Oh, he knows. How does he know? How is he so smart? They're going to get Magical instead with the Chain Silence and the stun of Inkswell. God, Inkswell's so good.
Magical is, I think, dropped his spellbook, Cap.
Brian, what's the weirdest food you've ever eaten?
Weirdest food?
Yeah.
When I was at TI9, it wasn't weird because it tasted weird, but it was weird because I didn't know I was eating it.
Okay.
So Kali knows Chinese, but she read it as bull, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were at a restaurant, and she doesn't read it perfectly, so we were getting bull, we thought.
Sure.
And we get these things that look like small chicken wings, and I'm like, this is definitely not beef. And we realized it was pretty good. We were just eating it, and then she asked the waitress, and the waitress told her it was bullfrog.
Ah.
So, you know, she knew she kind of knew what she was reading, but
so did it indeed taste like chicken?
It was basically chicken wings with way less meat on them. Yeah, it was pretty good, but in terms of weird, it's like, oh, I feel like I probably wouldn't have eaten this if I knew what it was, but now that I'm eating it, okay, then you just keep eating it.
Have you eaten any other kind of birds besides the normal chicken, turkey?
I have had quail.
Okay.
What
about crow? Have you ever eaten crow, Brian?
Crow? I've never had crow, no.
Yeah, well, you might be eating crow after this game because it's looking like Omegalil is in a pretty good winning position.
I see what you did there. What about you, Cap? Do you have any weird food eating stories? Or was that entire thing a segue?
That entire thing was a setup just for the zinger of eating crow.
That's actually
But since we had a pause, I just wanted to play along with it a little bit.
Not going to lie, that was well thought out.
Thank you. The payout
meticulously
felt
planned.
really good. Nobody will care but me, but I can tell you it felt good to me.
Hey, man, that's what I say about all my jokes. I don't care if nobody else laughs as long as I find them funny, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy your jokes, Brian.
Oh, okay. Phew. Somebody does.
I was lying. I need someone to enjoy them, please. I'm an entertainer, for God's sakes.
I feel like... Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, please. I was just going to say that I wanted to talk about something. I can't remember what it was because I can't see the heroes. I like our cameraman. He's like a drone operator now at this point. He's trying to get through the circles of the sentry ward.
That was cool. Dota map's pretty cool. as we see Grim just ninja in his way in the trees here. I feel like a lot of the heroes that you can't see through trees, you'd be able to see their like paintbrush and stuff. I feel like the lore just doesn't line up there. So I was a bit concerned for Omegalil's draft because I didn't think they'd be able to blow the map open like this. But on the back of Storm plus Grimstroke and a few out-of-position heroes, so to speak, on the side of Cyber Legacy, they need to trim it up a bit. They have the Blink Dagger coming up on Blizzy relatively soon, but this is a window where none of their cores are independent. Storm plus Grim will kill anybody who plays alone.
Yep.
So we need to run a tight ship, Cyber Legacy, if you want to save my non-existent mortgage that I bet on this game.
Aye, aye, Captain. Cyber Legacy. Tightening it up here. Gonna start playing together a little bit more. Look at that. Everyone's got a partner. Everyone's got a battle buddy. Though, is that battle buddy gonna be enough? We've got the Phoenix Batrider bottom lane, which is currently where Malik and Lil are heading to. Hemin and Han.
Everyone likes these iron branches. Valuing it over a Quelling Blade here.
Jumping after Blizzy. Blizzy's so fast, though. They're going to be able to get the Inkswell stun onto him, and the pullback from the Aether Remnant should ensure the kill. Eul Scepter last second into the Dissimulate, which doesn't quite combo up, but they still get the kill.
They have to stop playing like this. Their first volley of items just is so important for the side of Cyber Legacy. The BKB on Doom, the Blink on Bat, the Dragonlance on Drow, which he has coming out. They had to hit this timing earlier. I'm incredibly nervous for them all of a sudden. The game was 9-11, and now it's 9-18 in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because Cyber Legacy, they've only lost 2 games in the entirety of this Divine Division Omega playoff group stage. They only lost to one against Voldemort and one against Khan, I think were the 2 teams.
Okay.
And again, they 2-0'd Omegalil last time they matched up against each other. But this does, I agree with you, it does not look like the Cyber Legacy that we've seen set the precedent of just kind of like good, clean play. And here they just look lost.
Omegalil's making all the moves they need to make. When I saw the draft, I was really hoping, the Storm has to be super aggressive early on. The Terrorblade's going to be hitting creeps. I don't think on even footing the Terrorblade will outcarry the Drow. And really, really happy with their moves. I think it's also a bit of an oversight, though, from Cyber Legacy. The way I look at Dota is if you're the team that has, like, both teams have a win condition. And if things are going good for you, which things were going good for Cyber Legacy early on, just what changes? What does the opponent team have to do to affect the status quo of the game going well for us right now? And that was activating the Storm and getting crucial pickoffs. And they were playing too far apart on Cyber Legacy for that time being. And I think it's almost too little too late. They still had their Tier 1 tower before all that happened. Then Doom died, lost the 4-man fight in a Tier 1 tower off it. Then Doom died again. Suddenly this Doom that was #1 net worth by a decent margin is number 3. And the Terrorblade is a solid small item ahead of him.
Funny part is Cyber Legacy had tried the Drow Ranger strategy before, and I believe it was one of their losses. So maybe this is just something that they're trying to acquaint themselves with a little bit better. But do you think that a Drow Ranger strategy is unique, that it could feel a bit foreign to a team that has previously looked really good? Like, what is it about a Drow Ranger strategy you think that Cyber Legacy isn't really putting together?
Drow Ranger requires the other 4 heroes to be in the same place, because she alone is very fragile. She's not like an anti-mage where she's independent, right? As much as I'd like to think she's an independent woman who don't need no man, this is not the case for the early game. As when you have a hero like anti-mage, maybe you can play the map a bit greedier, but with Drow, she needs the unit of 4 to be potent such that the enemy team can't mess with her. And the minute your unit of 4 kind of falls apart, Drow, as a hero, the concept also falls apart. So, though, I talked about all these bad things that's gone on for Cyber Legacy, but they have the Blink on the Bat. I believe they have the BKB on Doom. They do have at least the preliminary items on Drow that she would need to be functional. And with that timing, they might be able to get something done. As those odds seem a bit biased that Omegalil is ahead right now, and they're, 2.6-1 still. Kuman needs to be a bit careful. They could jump you, buddy. But he looks to be baiting. Just a bit.
Yeah, just a wee bit.
Might trade that Vambrace for some strength. Vambrace headed on agility. Are they going to get the reach around? Veil on Grim. He's farmed.
Who are they going to run into? It's looking like they're going to run into spotting the Grimstroke first. The Storm Seer's over on the side. Hook shot from a distance. Does manage to catch some heroes there. They get the Soulbind locking in, and the Gaze pulls them both in. They can't get away from each other. This damn Chain Frost, it's too much for them to handle. They've already lost their Clockwork, who's going to buy back here, as well as Bat Rider, who's not available for a second time. Magical. Oh, he went for the Doom, and Kellen says, Now there's 3 of me. 4 of me, in fact, as they're going to be able to chase down Siam the Slayer. You said, Brian, this is going to be their chance to prove that they can actually put together a team fight. They've got their items, they're ready to go, but they couldn't execute. They lose 5. They got wiped there.
I'm
just imagining like a really sad song playing in your head right now as you're watching this, knowing that you bet your mortgage.
Well, this is why I bet non-existent things on Tier 2, Tier 3 Dota, because it's just unpredictable. Things that you cannot foresee, they just occur.
You guys should see the look on Brian's face during that time when he was silent. He was just kind of like blind. He was just kind of like blankly looking up in the air. All around me are familiar. Oh, the pushback of the cogs. That's going to burn a little bit more mana. 300 is enough to get him into the Tier 1 tower and away from Blizzy.
Get him. Basically, I look at that fight and I see a Doom hold on to his BKB when he just got it. Like, that's your new BKB, buddy. And he just held on to it and lost 2/3 of his health prior to using it. That's just unacceptable. I've learned this lesson myself way too many times. There's 2 types of BKBs, Cap. Reactionary ones and preemptive ones.
And what are the good ones?
What? Honestly, no one's really better than the other. It's just like there's 2 reasons why you can buy a BKB. And for Doom, it's BKB and run the hell in.
Okay.
Like, they have a bunch of instant stuff, like Lich Gaze into Lich Ult. Like, you just took half your health and damage before you BKB.
Yeah.
And you can't allow that because the enemy team's only physical damage is Terrorblade. So if you're BKB'd from full health, you're literally never dying. Yeah. And then because he dies or because he's half health, he has to, play the back lines of the fight, but then you already have Drow doing that. So it's just... It's hard to watch people make mistakes you make yourself. And you've already been like, I've already seen what happens when I do that. Continue, Cap.
And the worst part is that they got the initiation on the Grimstroke. And Doom still saw that and said, I'm going to run in range of the Clockwork. Like, they didn't have a chain stun. So they were going to get Soulbound together. That leaves the opportunity for the 2-man Chain Frost, the potential Gaze that Happy did a really good job of getting off right away, which is very smart of him. I believe he actually used the Gaze before the Chain Frost. So he didn't get the double Chain Frost bounce, but he did get the double Sable, which was way more important in that situation.
I also think this is a real situation where Magical has to realize that his Doom needs to just be used. Like, he just needs to use it on a core that he sees. Void Spirit was right there for the taking, and you may be like, wow, he almost died. Why would he want to use it then? But just see what happens when you don't use it and things go wrong, right?
Blizzy, he tried to catch Sunlight. Woo! Sunlight's too fast for him, though.
I think teams are... It's actually hilarious because when I play mid lane heroes, I'll let this fight break out and then I'll talk about it after. As we see a 4-man smoke from Omegalil.
They are on the hunt. They see a little bit of Fire Spirit action in mid. Phoenix, it's an okay hero to kill, but not your primary target, certainly. You want to see if you can blow up that Doom again with your chain stun combo, or even better, if you can catch the Drow Ranger, who shows herself right there on the low ground, but it's such an obvious position. The rest of the team is up there on the triangle.
I guess my segue was going to be that when I watch offlane hero or mid lane heroes become offlane heroes and I try to play them, I'm like, God, I feel like I don't know enough about this hero compared to mid lane players. I feel like I watch the same thing when I watch mid lane players play Doom. Like, he's a bronze tier Dota Plus Doom. He's probably played Doom 5 times.
He's garbage.
It's just niche situation. Like, his laning's great. He has good farm, right?
No,
but
I get
BKB usage, Doom usage, you can tell it's just lack of comfortability on the hero.
No doubt. Aether Remnant into the silence is an easy pick off onto Siam the Slayer.
There's a big difference between being able to play a hero first 10 minutes and being able to play a hero in team fights. Huge difference. And I always feel it when I'm playing heroes I haven't played too much of.
Especially in, like, part of the thing is why people are able to spam heroes over and over and over again until they're rank 25, you know, and they've got hundreds of games on it, is that every game is a bit different. And maybe he's just unfamiliar with how this pace of this game is supposed to go. What a big pickoff, though.
Huge. No Lincoln just yet, 400 gold off, so that was a big timing to hit because after that Lincoln's has gotten, I don't really know how they kill him other than like Clockwork Hook into Drow Silence.
Yeah. It's going to be rough for sure.
It's still scary for Omegalil, that's the thing. Like, Storm's going Lincolns, but now that I think about it, a 4 plus a 1 can kill you. So, they don't have a save either. This game really is going to be all about who jumps who, right? Like, that's what we're going to see continuously. Storm does have buyback, but probably not going to use it here.
Knowing that initiation is all important, Cyber Legacy, they actually smoke up behind the Drow Ranger here. Look for their opportunity. It's already been popped with smoke. He's going to go in. Bignum does manage to catch the Grimstroke. The 4-staff down. Bignum is going to get away from Kellen here. Kellen's going to do equally the same as they want to get outside of the range of the Supernova. Chain Frost before Happy. Looks like Happy put himself in the corner. He had no way to be able to get out, so he just hides himself and is now trying to slow down Cyber Legacy as they look for the retreat. Once again, the Manta. Magical. He does manage to get the Doom off. He falls up to the high ground. He's got the advantage. Oh, he gets 4-step down. No Arteezy here, ladies and gentlemen, but because of the Doom, he gets taken out. The Drow Ranger is tearing him a new one. Omegalil. Ultra kill for Kuman. That... Wow. Brian, you said it. You just got to use it, baby. Just use the Doom. If you don't use it, you lose it.
I don't know about that, Cap. You'd be much more familiar with that than me, but I do believe you are correct. He did need to use it. Otherwise, the fight, they will lose it.
Indeed. And they won it.
They did win it.
They gained something out of it.
He used... They win it, now he's in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Great rhyme, Brian. This is why you are... my #1 up-and-coming co-caster right now. It's the rhyme.
I thought you and the Cost were the dream pairing. Or was it somebody else?
That is the pairing of the century, honestly.
I'm trying to meme on you, but I think I'm doing it wrong.
No, you were on point.
Okay,
you were on point. Don't worry.
Nice.
I just didn't want to lean too much into that meme.
Gotcha.
Okay, we've got a dead even game on our hands, but there is a significant difference now. Sunlight is alive, and he has his Lincolns. And you could see, well, Dota Plus is like, yeah, you guys did a good job. Hey, you want to fight? Good work. You're still behind, though.
This game's all about who jumps who. I'd say this game's completely even footing, and whoever gets the initiation is going to win the fight, period.
So who has the ease of execution when it comes to the initiation?
I honestly think it's all about vision. I think both teams have very reliable ways of going on targets. It's just like who's going to see who and who's going to use their abilities on who first.
Speaking of vision, there's a ward here on the high ground that spots the rotation into the Roshan pit.
Storm has to go first with no BKB. I don't think that's feasible. So it's really hard for anyone on Omegalil to want to jump in here.
Yeah, and if they don't, they're just going to give up a free Aegis to Drow Ranger.
I like the flame break usage by Blizzy there. Just in case somebody tried to jump in, you knock them back real quick.
Oh, yeah. I always love to see, I'm a big fan of like preemptive cogs there as well, where it's like, it's not going to do anything unless somebody lands in that spot and then they instantly get pushed.
Yep. Dota's all about calculating all the little things that can go wrong. Because if it happens to you once, it scars you for life. So that's an example where you know the guy's played a lot of Batrider, because he's probably had one game of Bat that he got the Aegis stolen. He's like, damn, I could have freaking flame break that guy. I had to think about it ahead of time, though, because he came in instantly. So you see the gold tier Batrider up top. That's when you know. Filthy hero spammers. Actually, gold's fine. Gold's like, I play this hero, but I'm not a filthy scumbag, you know?
If you know, you know.
You know?
So BKB, Aegis.
Preemptive silence, I like that. What did he go?
Oh, he went the... Yeah, sorry, he went the Remnant provides true sight on the Void Spirit.
That's a nice talent when you're not 2, basically, I would say. It's really good for de-warding high grounds.
Sure.
Pretty much impossible to hide a ward from it.
Can we see our Void Spirit's progression in items real quickly?
He's going for the point booster into Halberd build.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I saw he had a point booster.
He's actually got the Ags? No.
No.
Okay, he's
So-
got the point booster into Halberd.
I knew he had the point booster, and I was like, there's no way. If you're building your Aghanim Scepter, you see that talent and go, I'll pass on the damage. You know? It's just one of those things. You're like, it's twice the value if I have Aghanim Scepter. So he is indeed switching up, and maybe that's part of the reason he does not go for the other talent.
Oh, got the
nice.
real one.
Centaur
What?
stomp on a Terrorblade. What is he
worth the
doing
small
here?
camp, sir? That's my question for you. Was it worth it? We'll ask him after the game if they take the series. Was that small camp worth your life? Because your illusions were pushing mid. That's the reason why he's in that vicinity, right? He's there to push mid.
Sure.
And your goal on a hero like Terrorblade is illusions, take the dangerous farm, and your hero stays in a safe position. So he chose to die for a small camp.
Big Nub throwing out hook shots here, does run into Happy. So even though he didn't catch anybody with the double hook shot,
Nobody saw it.
Get a kill.
That's the good part.
That's true. That's true.
We heard it, but he has plausible deniability, Cap.
I'm a little bit speechless here. Like, again, I feel like the risk-reward ratio there is really bad. Oh, look at him, Malik. He's trying to hide in that sneaky spot where the stone cover cosmetically covers you up.
Courier has been killed.
But yeah, I mean, it's an easy camp, and he's on right next to a high ground on the enemy side of the map. I just can't imagine like the situation where that's worth. Dude, look at his scan. Cyber Legacy's all over the place. They know where everybody is. Try and escape in the side lanes and pay the price. Wow. Oh my God.
That's a lot of damage.
They're madmen. What's going on? Cyber Legacy, all of a sudden they just like, just flip the switch. Let's go win the game now, boys.
We understand they hit a speed bump right before their first volley of items, but now we're truly seeing how bad Kyle is at reading drafts. I mean, how good Cyber Legacy is at constructing a game plan. You keep hitting it. It's going to die eventually, Kuman. Dude, finish that damn range.
Just hit the range. Good job. There we go. Now the damage comes in, slowed down by the Frost Armor. There is going to be some difficulty in hitting high ground, I assume.
Something not enough players do is this whole Paladin Sword or Vampire Fangs in the backpack.
Yeah.
It's really important, I think. You don't want them in fights because your hero doesn't really lifesteal like man fight back to life, you know? But you want them when you siege a tower, lose half your health, and then go hit a creep camp.
Big Num keeps on hitting them. Don't stop, baby.
Can't stop,
Keep
won't
on
stop.
finding these pickoffs, and Happy immediately buys back. It's not even like Omegalil was making an initiation there. He just says, let's go. Into an Aegis Drow Ranger. I imagine you could have saved that, but he didn't want to.
Tower has fallen.
Happy's a man of action. And death is inaction, or inaction is death.
He can sleep when he dies.
True.
And he isn't tired, so he's not going to be dead.
Dire are scanning.
Lizzie's going to
Successful
find him.
scan. Kellen's like, oh, go, boy.
They have the vision from Firefly. They see the illusion.
They catch him. They grab the real one. Malik, he needs to be able to put a stop to this one. He needs to stop the Doom from getting off his ultimate, but here comes the hook shot for Big Num. A Cogs push back. No, he gets off the BKB. Fuse push back. Then he certainly gets doomed. He gets off the center right before the Doom.
No meta
now he's going
use.
to try and back away. The Chain Frost continues to bounce around between the
Drow
two.
here.
The
Clean up
support
crew.
certainly dies. Here comes that Drow Ranger with a silence onto the Storm Spear, and he gets burned down. Sunlight, not very effective, my ass, Brian. It burned him to a crisp.
He died to the Drow, man.
He burned to a crisp, Brian, and Kuman fighting from the low ground, laying into the Terrorblade. The Supernova on top of him, and Omegalil just lost. How did this game turn so quickly, Brian?
They got their items.
They got their items. That's all they needed.
And then they grouped up. The only strength I thought Omegalil really had on the map was superior split pushing with the Terrorblade and superior pickoff with the Storm Grim. Once that doesn't play a part anymore, that's all about map momentum, right? It's all about the lanes being pushed in your favor. Terrorblade dies once or twice, the map is no longer pushed in your favor, and suddenly the pickoffs no longer are rolling in, right? Because these heroes don't have to separate anymore to react to your split push, and as a group of 5, Radiant's lineup is just way better.
Truly goes to show the brilliance of your analysis when the players misplay your strategy, and yet the brilliance of the drafts that you predicted still comes true.
Tower has fallen.
Yeah. Kyle's just used to people playing it properly on his own team.
I can't get you away from Kyle, can I? You're like a hound dog, man. You sniffed out that set and you're not letting it go. It's 27-27, but the game is anything but even with a 19,000 net worth lead to Cyber Legacy, looking like they're going to continue this run of 2-0s. They had a good number of them in the group stage, and until they met Ninjas of Pajamas, they had taken every single series.
Would you say it's odd that the team kills are even on odd numbers, but the game is not even?
Dire are scanning.
I like that, Brian.
Thank you.
That gave me the giggles. It was so dumb
Yeah.
that it worked perfectly. It even made our panel laugh. Rich is dying over there.
He's doing the E2 laugh right there. The kick W. Approximately like that. I actually watched that video just to like make myself laugh the other day, and I was like, damn, this shit's funny. His laugh is just so contagious, man.
5-man smoke. They're going to run into Blizzy on the high ground here. Is Blizzy going to be able to blink fast enough before they get their initiation? Malik strikes. Gets on top of the Drow Ranger, but he gets the BKB off first, turns around, goes for Lil. Glimmer Cape will protect him for the time being. Goes for the TP out, but no, Bat Rider's Blizzy denies it, and Kellen, he starts playing into the Drow Ranger. He's been griefed, Brian.
Okay, this is when you ping your teammate, and you ping that your TP's on cooldown, and you ping Grimstroke's ultimate, and then you buy back instantly and walk down the mid lane. Oh wait, no, this is a game where they're taking it very seriously. That will not be happening.
Indeed. This is not the North American Divine Division. This is European. They don't walk down mid here, Brian. So the Slayer just looking to be able to slow down these pushes.
He bought out for something on Drow because he had buyback and now he doesn't have it.
Tower has fallen.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of the correct read. I guess he just was like, okay, the meta's not going to last long enough for them to go high ground. They're not going to risk that.
MKB on Terrorblade doesn't really help him against the Doom problem, but if he gets MKB Satanic, suddenly he's pretty damn scary.
Yeah.
They need like a Solar Crest though, right? They need something to give him some base or bonus armor.
Yeah. Your Drow Ranger is going to get ripped apart a lot faster than that last time that we saw now with that MKB.
If Drow gets caught out alone like that, she's going to die every single time.
True.
It really, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter who's ahead by what margin. Whoever jumps who first should win the fight. It's just like in a place where maybe Cyber Legacy's heroes are able to assist and maybe the Drow can buy back, it's going to be a bit different. But they were so far away from the rest of their team last time that Drow is just going to die.
Oh, I like this. I like this. They have, the Drow Ranger just came back up, but they 4-man smoke before that. I think they're looking to catch Omegalil as they're off kind of their timing. It's natural expectation that if they're going to smoke, it's going to be with the Drow Ranger. They're going to push forward. They're going to try and grab a team fight here where the meta is down.
I also like that Drow instantly went for an Ancient Camp at 37 minutes. Got to capitalize on those new neutral items.
Did he get it?
Yeah,
Did
he got a
line
leveler. He got a leveler.
Oh.
Storm Spear got a Timeless Relic, so some pretty impactful items so far.
So if we go to a Throne race and they barely win, we could say that
it was all
him farming
RNG,
the
blame
Ancients.
Gaben.
Yeah, oh, okay. I was going to say,
you're going to say the
strategy,
the heads-up play.
Yes, the heads-up play of
course,
farming
of
the
course.
Ancients at 37 minutes won the game, and not the RNG of neutral items.
Very cool.
Ooh, Timeless Relic.
Leveler's a nice item.
Yeah, it is pretty good. So what did he buy out? Because he already had the Scotty, right?
He actually just bought a TP and put him from like 30 gold over to 20 gold below. I saw that. I was like, okay, I guess he didn't buy anything. That's a pretty scrub move, though, to buy a TP. That puts you out of buyback range.
Yeah, Kuman's just throwing.
I actually understand right now. Okay, remember what I told you he was doing while he was dead?
Uh-huh.
You can't ping your TP cooldown if you don't have one in your inventory.
Oh.
So he literally had to buy a TP in order to ping to his Bat Rider that his TP was on cooldown.
That is
I
truly
understand that.
next level toxic, Brian.
I understand that.
You really
I'm right there
are
with him there.
deeply into the minds.
Yeah.
This is some mine hunter shenanigans here, getting into the minds of the worst, most toxic kind of play.
Yeah, that's you got to understand the small things, the small mechanics that really enabled your ability to tilt the shit out of your teammates.
Tell me, Brian, what is it like being able to get into the mind of a piece of shit?
Like Lizzie for canceling my TP?
Do you think that, like, no, just, you know, your idea of, like, buying a TP specifically so you can ping it. Like, do you feel like you have some sort of affinity there, or?
It's purely observation. Watching my
okay.
friends and supposed friends, you know, and all these other toxic members of the Dota community doing this. It's never actually me.
Okay.
Of course. Just
Right,
like it's
of
not my
course.
fault when I lose.
Yes.
Yes. Prince's Knife, actually a pretty valuable item. And a Spell Prism. Very good on Terrorblade, actually, if they want to leave it on him. It's a stat item that gives mana regen, lowers the cooldown of all of your illusion abilities, and he's going to keep it on his backpack for future investments. Okay, no, he puts it in. Good. It's really nice with Metamorphosis, too.
Lotus Orb on the Clockwork, which is quite nice against Soulbind very often, but we now
And
have a
Sunder.
Scythe of Ice for the Grimstroke. Super, super good.
Drow prioritizing the Prince's Knife over the Leveler. He's actually got the smorgasbord of neutral items here.
Yeah, he really does.
Got
Give him
one
all
for
the neutral
regen,
items.
got one for pushing base, and one for fights.
So you think, like, what do you think this idea is? He's looking to catch the Storm Spirit?
Yeah, 100%.
Like a fast projectile hit on the Storm
Even
Spirit?
Void Spirit, even Terrorblade, buying your team
Sure.
that like very short duration disables enough to prevent them from defensively BKBing prior to the Doom or anything like that.
Yeah, and we've got, speaking of that Doom, we've got double Doom for this next team fight, showing how important the initiation is in this team fight. If he gets off both those Dooms, very likely Cyber Legacy have won the engagement. If Omegalil, though, they get on top of him first. There goes being squelching up onto the Doom. This is what they have to stop. They managed to get the Soulbind out as well, and the Doom is dead. Pull back, though, onto Kellen, though, from the lasso. Jump in from Big Num, trying to keep him away. He does double hook shot up before the Thunder, but look at that damage just came out for the Drow Ranger. Armor is nothing to a Drow, and the Terrorblade's dead for 80 seconds.
Back in the day when I'm going to wait for this fight to potentially re-engage.
Yeah, they have to fight without the Terrorblade, so they're just going to try and keep on going here up against this Drow Ranger, who does get Scythe of Ice up. The Inkswell
the
stun,
Prince Knife.
only hitting the Clockwork.
Attack him,
He's only
attack
got a
him.
little bit more.
There it
There's
is.
the Scythe. He's out of mana. He did.
So back when I got kicked from Summer's Rift,
Uh-huh.
this was a long time. No story for you guys. There was a game where we were winning pretty heavily, and I was playing Drow Ranger, and I didn't BKB when a Brewmaster split on me, and then he threw a boulder at me, and then I died.
Okay.
What Magical did there kind of reminded me of that. He just got gone on. About a second later, got pulled, and he just didn't BKB and died full to 0. Luckily for him, I think he's still going to win this game, and he still has a pro career.
No, Blizzy. He gets Scythe as he tries to make his initiation. There's Big Num to try and follow it up here, but he's stuck. There is Cyber Legacy.
Yes,
No, they aren't
yeah.
going to be able to fight this. They have to travel. Bat Rider coming in, the Lich rather. He goes down, force snap down to low ground. Lil managed to sneak away. So too does the Storm Spear, just ahead of that Gust.
Yeah, Kyle mentioned that the Drow E does not get reduced by Lich's Frost Armor, and you saw it there. Lich was full health and died to split shot.
Yeah.
That hurts. Same with Quills. Any AoE physical damage does not get reduced by that Lich shield, so good to see Kyle's brushing up on his mechanics, catching up with the last 5 years of patch notes.
Can they hold this high ground from Omegalil? They don't have a buyback on Doom and Bat Rider, so it actually calls into question how safe Cyber Legacy wants to play. Sure, they have that Aegis, but what if they lose some of their surrounding heroes?
That earlier buyback from DU Rara is all setting up for this. They think he doesn't have buyback. That's the whole idea going here. Ninja Gear, one of the best neutral items for Doom, actually. Gives you a bit of armor, a bit of attack speed, and then the smoke active with the movement speed is just super duper dandy, Cap.
It really is. You know, when I met Happy at the Summit, when he was on J178 and got acquired by Cyber Legacy, I asked him, I was like, how do I say your name? And he paused, he looks at me, and he just turns, he's Happy. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll just call you Happy. He's like, yeah.
There you go. I'm going to call you D-Rara. That sounds cooler.
15,000 net worth lead, but it is Omegalil, the ones to strike out first. Malik jumps forward. As the Scythe breaks, he looks to be able to grab somebody here. The Scythe into the Eu-Scepter, not the best combination. They do manage to get the Doom onto the Terror Blade. The double Chain Frost is out in force as well, but this Terror Blade's taking so much damage, he dies before anybody comes close to getting popped on Cyber Legacy.
He already used meta, though.
He already used meta, so buyback isn't going to be worth a whole lot. Sunlight, no buyback there. Dead for 2 minutes, and
Looks like
Cyber
it's about
Legacy.
to sunset on Omegalil's chances.
It does indeed, Brian. This was an elimination game, and looks like they may have yeed their last haw. Time to ride out into that sunset, cowboy.
Keiko on it. Does he have the leveler in his inventory?
He does not, because he thinks they're still going to be fighting, and he's right, because good old Big Num always finds the opening. Look at that. Prince's
like
Knife going to work on the Terror Blade. It's just disgusting how much damage this Drow Ranger can do to a Terror Blade. Maybe he doesn't even need the leveler, Brian, because he just kills Hero. Or maybe he's going to get killed. Can they actually do it? The 3 and the 2 support.
The directional
ready to go.
In place.
The 720 no-scope coming out from the Drow Ranger.
I'll take the time to talk about a mechanic. If you guys want to learn how to spin in place, all you got to use is the directional move command, guys. Check it out in your hotkey settings. Promo code BSJ. Subscribe with Twitch. Oh, no, that's sorry. I'm
Jesus. Calm down on the sellout there, Brian. You sounded like Rich over
I
there.
thought Rich would like that one.
Be sure to check out Rich's Instagram. And plug that one. He plugged that one on a TI broadcast. Trying to go in. Malik going for the Doombringer here, but Kuman. Oh, look at that. The Eu-Scepter into the cogs. Very nice play from Big Num. Getting the instant stun. And that's it. Omegalil try as they might. They will not be able to hold off this victory for Cyber Legacy. They will claim the 2-0. 12 more seconds. They're going to try. Soulbind double sight that with the Ink Swell on top of them, but the BKBs are activated. And the Storm Spirit, he'll be up, but he'll be all alone. A lone man against 5. What can he do? He's going to BKB. He's going to do a little damage. And he's going to watch his ancient die and his dreams crumble right before him like ash.